is more where the percentages are lying. You go into that first gun round and you don't have the AWP, you won't have kits or enough utility, and that can be so detrimental to a CT side. So this is actually fine. It's a more conservative approach, but definitely still one I prefer. But we go into round number 3 now. You can see not really much purchase once again for VP. They are going aggressive once again on that platform. He does find one, but it is replied once again. So you can see it was kind of a B stack coming in from VP. They're going to be taking back towards there. They're going to be kind of speeding up the map, seeing all the reaction.
I can't be the only one who's got all eyes on that match. Right? This is an opportunity to just make bang for Tempo Storm. Mad money, 600 a pop. Going gangster style. It's going to be Showtime, who is actually going to be controlling the A side. A little bit of a long-range duel for that Mac 10. He's going to want to try and close that gap with smoke towards doors. We'll just delay. We'll keep those 50 on A in the bomb. Going elsewhere, Passion. That's Tempo Water, and he's going to be greeted by Bolt. It is going to be 4 versus 3, and this is kind of the perfect approach from Tempo Storm. They have to completely picked apart versus Pro, trying to catch any of those close quarters positions from the CTs, and now they can just work their way through. Another double is done. Bolt they collected on B. Snack to the Deagle and a ring.
This round is always going to be a throw away. It's a chance for people to damage it. Slightly that. Just a couple of Deagles, nothing really else. It's not really much in this round. So this is where it gets interesting, right? Felt like he wasn't quite ready for that team, but obviously Fallen's giving him a chance. Gave his academy now Tempo Storm, and he seems like he really has kind of slipped into this role pattern. He's fragging well, and this team is just going from strength to strength, right? They've just gone overtime the phase, and now they're having a very good showing against VP as well. Another eco coming in for VP, right? So we said the double eco is very potential, but you can see they haven't really invested anything. 1 PT50 and a HE grenade on towards Pasher as well. So Fox making his way out towards it. Molotoving out, would you like to say?
Quite the opposite, really.
Yeah, indeed.
But yeah, you're right. There's absolutely nothing here. A PT50 to play with for Virtus.Pro. But look at this again. No matter what they have, no matter what weaponry they've got, it's happened even worse. Tempo, they've lost 2. And Virtus.Pro, they haven't brought absolutely nothing to this one. Neo could very well catch someone here towards doors. He's just dancing on the rock. He hasn't taken a single point of damage. Now being hunted down by Bolts and Showtime. He will actually do a bit of tickle towards Bolts down to 65. But this happens time and time again. I mean, it's right down to Virtus.Pro just being so effective, but no matter what's in their hands.
It seems a little bit silly there from Tempo Storm. I can see what they were trying to do, like try and get him in there, get a couple of kills, pull some rotations over from A while the rest of the team were ready to pounce on that A bomb side, but it's gone horribly for them. There's no one to get that refrag, and all of a sudden it's a 4-on-2 favouring VP. North, 2 AKs as well. They're going to win this round hands down. You see there is 30 seconds now. Bolts, he needs to find his kill to be early, but it's just little time here. Doesn't really have many options with the back of grenades they have.
Oh, I like this though. It's going to enable him to push in quite comfortably off platform. And another for Showtime. He's babysit Bolt perfectly, and actually he can start punching in the digits now. The other 2 members from VP, they've got weaponry. There's an AWP for Snacks and Taz on the AK, but no armor. Don't forget that the aim punch really will haunt them. And it is, of course, if they tried for this one, you'd already written a tempo out of this one, but a quick play, 1 flashbang is all it took, and they're back in the site, back in the round.
It's pretty impressive so far. It's now Snacks and Taz on the retake. No kid, of course, but they have the weaponry. As I say that, they've Showtime gets his 3rd of the round. Now there's just 1 player remaining for VP. Wow! And all the hard work they did, the first opening kills there. And he gets taken down. You saw Neo rotating in, and only managing to take 1. It's answered straight back. And as he just pointed out, Bialy, one of the heroes against Envious, is actually on 0 for 8 now. He's one of the heavy hitters of VP. Not really arriving on this map so far.
Yeah, I mean, you heard the desk singing the praises of Bialy, saying he was a big reason why that victory on Cash did go the way of Virtus.Pro against Envy as well. However, 0 and 8, not great, and this is going to be surely a very easy pickup from Tempo Storm. You can see they're just walking on in, no problems, and hopefully no casualties. I say that though, here comes the Deagle from Neo, and it's going to be a heavily tag again. Showtime seems to...
And that'll be about it, but that's what they're going to do. They're going to get the 250s, a CZ, and a single smoke on Bialy.
All eyes on you, Bialy. What's that smoke going to do, mate?
Well, not too much, I'm afraid, but he's going to be smoking towards it. Drop down here. Just trying to buy him some time, but that's all about what he can do, to be honest.
But, I just want to kind of highlight how impressive this is. I don't know if we've kind of sung the praise of Tempo enough, because, I mean, yes, it is T-side couple. Yes, we know they've been affected before. We've seen very large margins for them in their couple games. You know, a reminder that we saw them play this against CLG, a very strong T-side during the qualifier. To get here, and I mean, we didn't kind of address that beforehand, the Tempo. They had to beat the top, the cream of the North American crop to get this spot for the Katowice. And now they're learning against, well, the best.
So far, so good for Tempo Storm. And the barrel of their 10th round here, 10-1 against VP or Hobble. That's not something I ever thought I'd be saying here. I thought this is where VP were going to turn things around and start arriving this tournament after beating Envious, but this is looking phenomenal. The young Brazilian so far. Looking like Bolts once again committing towards this B upper platform. Just moving below, he gets his head dealt with straight away, and there should be a couple of kills coming in. There's actually Snacks against the next.
Yeah, real respect to Snacks for actually going for that challenge up against the AK of Bolt. He's been so good on that platform. Very aggressive stuff from him, but here comes Tempo Storm, just kind of stabilizing what was a little bit of a rocky boat, and now we can see the final kill will come in. Lucas
stuck in the corner, but that was a double orb setup. That just goes to show you how detrimental that can be. As soon as the execute comes out and the wall smokes it down and you're trying to retake with 2 orbs, that's such a hard situation, and Henny just capitalizes. This time, trying to be creative once again, boosting up into drop down this time, but it's Lucas, another fantastic shot from him, takes him down 5 on 4, and you can see VP just going from bad to worse here. No kits, max 7, Famous, and a man down as well. This is looking grim.
They look defeated, truly they do. We're into round 13 here. And Virtus.Pro, a team that have, had limited success in the online stages. The only offline show we've seen them from 2016 was Leipzig, where they did fall to Dignitas, in fact, on this very map, into that overtime 22-20. Of course, we know the power Dignitas you possess on this map, but that's a different story, because here comes Tempo Storm yet again. And I mean, you've already set the scene so beautifully. Virtus.Pro, this is a must-win round. I mean, they all have been, but the fact that their money is so limited, and an opportunity again for them to try and put something back before the change of the half.
Bialy here below Phelps, going to get his first frag, and definitely needed in this situation. Phelps is scouting a lot of freedom here as well. You assume he's going to drop down, and Bialy will be dropped once again. He's having an absolute nightmare. He goes down to 0-13, and now Phelps has got full control of that B bomb side as well. You can see Neo still towards A, but there's just kills going on all over the place there, and it's all going in favor of Tempo Storm as well. Taz, the last player remaining, and what is going on here? It's going to be 12-1 in favor of Tempo Storm. Taz is wondering what the hell's going on. You can see he does pick up 1 frag, but unfortunately, he's one of the clutch masters of the game, but it's not going to be enough here. Only 1 frag, and actually heavily invested into that one. Considering the scoreline, it's not really required, I would say, but
quite the contrast to Virtus.Pro's second round buy.
Phelps does open things up. It's going to be Neo that takes him down straight away, but they have got onto the bomb side. There's a flurry of frags coming in for both teams here. It's going to be VP coming out on top so far, but Bolt's still doing absolute work here. He takes it down, and it's going to come into a 1v1. Henny versus Bialy, but he has the USP to work with. Bomb is still down towards another platform as well. Bolt's there. Oh my god.
Bolt's has just kicked them in the teeth. The bomb is loose. He has to go to platform. I don't know whether or not that information is also on the Tempo Storm side of things, but you can see Bialy cautious. This is a round he just cannot afford to lose. And Henny, if he gets this headshot, it's all about the accuracy, and it's not quite going to be enough. It will be the MP7 enough.
Tempo Storms are pretty much full eco here as well, so
refreshing stuff actually from Virtus.Pro. All of a sudden, we said they looked kind of like a wounded animal in that first half, but now they do seem to be finding their feet somewhat. Bandages on, and they're starting to try and make something happen in this game. Already a flurry of frags, and there's of course nothing brought from Tempo Storm. I say nothing. A pinch of a P250, but that's about it. Taz, well aware that the CTG want to just take something away from him in this round, and he's going to be backing away, realizing that there's no point investing overly heavily towards that long area early.
They actually went for the full long A setup there, like 3 players towards long A, and Tempo Storm losing the first 2 kills. VP, you know what? This is probably going to be a stack towards that area. Let's just bail out, go towards B, and it's a fully open bomb table. So this is a guaranteed round for them. Very smart play, not giving away a single point of health there as well. And it's going to be Taz continuing the rampage here. Takes down Phelps, and you can see another player on this crosser as well. It's going to be Showtime. He gets dropped as well. So just leaving poor old Bolts, and many options for him. Yeah, maybe get an exit kill. That P250. It's VP making a solid case for themselves in the second half. That's going to be 5-1.
Yeah, the one round they did manage to fire off the back of Lucas, really.
Sure. That was the thing, right? It was just a huge individual performance. Tempo definitely done enough here to win the game. It's just whether despite that next round, it's kind of secure them overtime. That's like the pressure league, right? That's for this young team, kind of inexperienced. They just need to get number 15, and then they can start thinking, right, we've done enough. Yeah. I think we guarantee overtime.
And that's actually a huge point that isn't always made about that kind of that mental problem, the mental.
I'm going to assume it's going towards the B bomb site, and maybe that airstrike mentality towards the other B platform. You chuck 5 grenades there, you're hoping it's a B rush, and taking down a couple of guns with you. Right? I don't think it's going to work out for them. You can see it's actually a very heavy A setup from VP here. Grenades haven't actually been chucked in straight away, so maybe waiting to see some presence here. Maybe the retake grenades could be a factor as well.
Maybe Bolt's made the call. He seems to be already kind of perking his ears up towards the A site. I think he's realized this is definitely not going to be that B plat nade success. Here they go, though, diving straight through it. It's all about information. They're going to be hitting their shots very quickly. Here come the nades, trying to whittle away at that Virtus.Pro HP. Here comes Taz. He's just going to be having a bit of a spring in his step as he approaches the A site. Molotovs are being invested quite heavily. You can see Virtus.Pro margin for error so minimal when they are at that 14 mark. They're clearing the corners, and they are going to be taking down Tempo Storm relatively easily. Bialy just go down, though, and Snacks quick to trade that one. Goodbye, Phelps. And he's slow, and Lucas can't do much as well, and so this is just going to be the end. All she wrote for Tempo, unless Lucas does something rather mind-boggling. He's got a kit, Henry. Okay. There's a silver lining in this cloud, but no. He's got this. I can stop playing around and tell you that. I mean, 14-8, Tempo Storm. They've kind of, that's 2 rounds they've gifted over to Virtus.Pro with the P250s and a stack attempt. This next round is going to be very telling.
Exactly. Well, quote Sadicus. This is all down to Henny. If you can go aggressive, look towards long A and find that first pick, maybe do something with this.
Not forgetting it would look a whole lot better if Lucas still had that M4 and Kevlar taken away from him by that last second no scope from Neo. Nice to see they have got that confidence, that flair that you were, saying was absent over on Overpass. I can't help but also remind you guys that Tempo was so close yet so far in their game against FaZe, and maybe that's at the start of their mind, but I'll come back to that in a second, because already Lucas has got one, and Henny's got another. This is what we're talking about, impact coming in, and Henny, oh my god, Tempo! They've already picked up the round. You said Henny could do something, he's done everything. Round which they couldn't make happen with weapons.
And that's the pressure relief for Tempo Storm as well. They've made number 50 on pretty much nothing as well. 1 orb, but Henny, like I said, that's enough to win you rounds. He gets in the right position at the right time, he finds 3 kills, and the CZ prevailing as well, and that's just going to be absolutely devastating for Virtus.Pro. Against that sort of buy, that's the way they loot, they get to match point. That's kind of disappointing for them, but they're still alive there. I've got a full buy going forward, but that's just going to ramp up Tempo Storm. Now they can afford to be a little bit more audacious, a bit more aggressive.
Power of the pause, Henry. Power of the pause.
Yeah, every time it feels like a CSGO.
It's crazy. And of course, the team that didn't quite fall to that was the Brazilian side with Nosti, Fnatic calling that pause and Nosti not fouling it at the knee was yesterday. Now though, here we go. 9 for Virtus.Pro. That 15 has finally been reached for the Brazilians. It's been a long time coming for them after such a successful T side. And he wants to go aggressive. You can see that already just that 1 round, those 3 kills has completely put a bit more spring in his step.
Absolutely. Well, so far, it's a little bit slower. Limited utility, 1 smoke remaining and a couple of Molotov. That's about it. Smoke is towards Taz. He will be focusing that on swinging out that window area towards drop down. Hoping they can do some sort of potential piece there. As I said earlier, looking like they're favouring towards middle. Real indicative signs of maybe having going to be facing towards mid. That's just a frag one now. They should get towards the top of the ramp there, but it's not being detected.
Yeah, you can see actually Tempo very passive on this hold on A. Bolts just kind of committed towards long, he doesn't even know, however he's going to get a whole lot of information, and a double! Bolts is getting handfuls of kills! 2 for him, and now Showtime can perhaps finish this one, even indeed they can get close. Now also Snacks and Taz to keep this alive, keep this dream for Virtus.Pro. And now bomb going down, that's going to be a start for the T side, but they have already taken a bit of a beating. Taz just 12 points of health, similar situation for Phelps though, and there is no nades for the CTs for this retake, just the 1 kit for Lucas, but here they come, encroaching on towards the site. They need to check their corners, there's not really, this is one of the closest rounds. Tempo are going to get close to that 16, you know Virtus.Pro so hungry for it. And already Snacks has taken down Phelps. Virtus.Pro looking to stabilize after Bolts is shattering double. They're going to try and do one better, but here comes Lucas again. Now a 1v1 all onto Taz. He's only got 12 points of health. He's going to get hunted down, and Henny, of course it's Henny. 3 in the previous round, and now he's eventually going to find the bomb kit is present, and he's going to have just enough time. GG's in chat, and Tempo have knocked Virtus.Pro down a peg or 2. The Brazilians, it looked a little shaky on that second half, but they do stabilize and do pick up a huge win. It was doubtful from some. They weren't expecting to see Tempo do it, but they have.